Okay, welcome to another video. This time we have a recommendation by James from the YouTube platform. He wants to know what's the deal with Zilliqa. So this is actually quite an interesting uh, development on this particular chart because we've already seen the first two major waves of the B wave already occurred in this market, whereas other cryptos such as XLM, for example, or like Cardano, um, you know, in other particular cryptos that I've been analyzing lately. Yeah, this one's ahead of the other ones for some reason. Not sure why. All the waves are here for wave A, and then we've had the start of wave B, and we've had almost complete retracement of that move. So we're looking overall for a 5-wave pattern. Okay, so we're in wave 4 now. This is going to be quite a sideways correction, a lot bigger than wave 2 due to alternation, as per the rest of the cryptos as well. So wave 2 sits nicely within this area, uh, and yeah, so to me it's baffling why it's ahead so much. So it'll just be interesting to see how it manages to track along the way back up to the highs. Typically, C waves, not always, but they can be a bit weaker than the first move up. So I probably would say that the C wave won't be as sharp as this first move up, and I mean the C wave in brackets here. It might even just step up like just a bit more, with more of an angle, right? But in terms of like, has it bottomed already? I believe it has, but we do need to see a confirmation. So if we just go down to like the 1 hour chart, for example, right? We've got the top of wave A there. We just zoomed into it, A in brackets for B. So this particular move down since April this year, it was actually quite a move down. Retraced almost the whole way, right? I would say over 80%, right? It went to like, who knows, 95%. But the thing that I'm seeing here, which is interesting, is I could see that there's a B and a C pattern down here. And that part's interesting to me at the moment. And it does look like this is a complete B wave due to the wave structure, right? Because if this was going to be some kind of leading pattern, right, I don't think that this pattern here would have happened in 5 waves, right? And when I say 5 waves, it's it's a wave E, which is the last move down in a correction. So in order to confirm this, we'd have to see a break above the start of wave E, which is around 0.062 roughly, right? Or the last high, if you want to call it pivot high, that happened in May 22nd of May this year. Now, I suppose the important thing is the B and C wave is that you did get the B wave miniature version of it happen at a small degree, and then you had a 5 wave move down. So to me, that it's so small that normally I wouldn't even detect it as that move, but because this this move happened here the way it did, um, it's unlikely that this is like a wave 4, for example. If that was like a zigzag wave 1, that's not a wave 2, right? You can't. Wave 2 is never just a 5 wave move. Okay, so I know that there's like other people out there who have been using AriasWave to look at this, and they think that there's another move down, etc. Because this is not impulsive. Well, that's the thing about these corrections, is that AriasWave doesn't really it doesn't really understand the waves the way they work. If there's a wave missing with AriasWave, that means it's not right. It's incorrect. Now, because I was able to find these waves quite easily, to me, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be a price action that basically performs like a cup and handle pattern and just keeps going higher. Okay, now that's just my opinion, obviously. We have to wait and see. Price action will tell us what's going on. But the thing is, if you don't know the waves, then that's the problem to begin with, right? That's the whole issue. Like, if you're using a map of, Canada to get around the US, you're probably going to get a bit lost, right? So that would be like using Elliott wave. Okay. If you use, the right correct map, or in this case, framework of waves and how they operate, then you need to actually know what's going on for the previous waves as well, right? Which includes everything that started from the highs of, you know, May 2021, right? So you have to know everything before that. You have to know what this whole structure even is a part of, right? And I've done many videos on this sort of thing as to what I believe it is, right? Using the euro as a guide, right? And at this point in time, like I did mention, the euro is actually turning back higher to correct the move down, right? So I'll just quickly show you on this, just so you understand. So since what is it, the start of 2021, right? We had the start of this move down. So I've mentioned this before already in a previous video, but like this is like the first wave down of a larger move that's coming down for the euro, right? So to me, this will eventually affect uh, cryptos, the actual move down when it starts, but we're going to have to see first a wave two correction here, which is obviously going to take us up in a zigzag first. I don't know how high that zigzag will go, but it's interesting to see that, you know, that's also a zigzag pattern, which is what we're expecting for wave B, for example, in XLM, right? You go to XLM, we're expecting a zigzag back up, right? So I know it's not exact science because it's not correlated 100%. I've never said that. Like, but if you want to use the example of we're looking for a 5 wave move up to complete the cryptos, then the belief here, according to the pattern, is that that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for a complete 5 wave move, but like the euro has already completed that 5 wave move, which ended at the start of Jan. You get me? So, you know, this thing's ahead of XLM and Bitcoin, etc., right? Um, just like Zilliqa is ahead of XLM, right? In some ways, right? So what's going to happen to Zilliqa for it to be performing that kind of price action ahead of time, right? So we'll just go back to Zilliqa. Like for me, more than likely, if this moves higher up, in this particular manner, that is like producing a B wave ahead of XLM, for example, then more than likely, if this doesn't take forever to get up here, right? Which I don't think it'll take much longer than the rest of what's going on with XLM, etc., and Bitcoin, at least for the first wave up. What could happen to Zilliqa is that when the C wave starts, it could potentially just drag out in a very corrective manner, right? I'm not saying like this sharp. It could be like it could take way longer, obviously, because you've still got to see that zigzag unfold in the other coins before they produce a C wave, which may eventually um, happen in a fast manner, right? Like a really sharp crash, whereas Zilliqa might step down slowly during that same period of time because it'll probably, because it's already produced a 3 wave pattern, right? whereas XLM, right, it's yet to produce that 3-wave pattern, right? So I'll just get rid of this thing, right? So we still have not seen that zigzag move up yet, which we don't know how long it will take, right? It might even be a sharp zigzag with a, you know, like that's the thing. We don't know how this is going to play out. It could be a sharp zigzag to the highs. It could look something like what Zilliqa did. It could just go straight up for the highs, right? It could just shoot straight up for the highs, and then pull back and go into a sharp correction like Zilliqa did, right? Before it then makes another move up, right? It's just that Zilliqa is ahead of these guys, like these cryptos, and that's the only difference really. But how that plays out, well, it's going to be interesting. I might even track it along the way to see how we go, because it's interesting to me why it's ahead of the pack, right? So obviously I've explained to you the alternation, which is definitely, in my opinion, something that AriasWave does get right. It did discover that to be, I discovered that to be true, according to AriasWave, which has been developed over 6 years and back tested on every chart that I can think of. Not always 100% accurate, because the waves aren't always as clear on some charts. For some reason, they just don't produce clear patterns. So I just tend to stick to most popular markets, because the pattern reveals itself in a much clearer way, which is why I do most of my analysis on particular markets. And yeah, I just produce content as needed, not overproduce. So I suppose, just to end this off without going on for too much longer, yeah, we need to see a break above that high to confirm this move up is in progress. So we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll see how it goes, and I'll report back if I see any changes. So yeah, hopefully you found this one interesting, and thanks for watching.